You've been hearing a lot about shared parenting, divorce reform, and parental alienation. And I want to talk a little bit about what these are and why they're important, not to just divorcing people, but important to the population as a whole. First of all, it's mostly about fear. We start with our family. We've got a couple parents and a child here, and everything's intact. But once you've divided that out into two households, the fearful parent will worry about what's occurring at the other household. It's very important to realize that the fear that this parent is experiencing is real, but that the threat is not real. So then the child returns to the other household, and frequently in this case, the child is not going to get a lot of attention from this parent. But if the child starts making accusations that validate the fear, then he or she gets more attention. So a three-step process takes place here. Number one, the child becomes a victim. Number two, the other parent is seen as the abuser. And number three, the other parent is seen as a hero or a nurturing parent, which is really the definition of parental alienation. And a sad outcome of that is that the child actually thinks that being a victim is the way to gain love. So we're going to take our little family here and we're going to put them in court. So we have our judge. And the judge, of course, has to deal with Title 4D, which is very important because Title 4D gives financial incentives to make an unequal custody situation. So this judge is not going to vote for 50-50 custody because there's no money in it. So the judge has to pick an unequal situation with a custodial parent and a non-custodial parent. And frequently, taking a look at what's going on here, he's going to identify this one as the abuser and this one as the nurturer. And so the custody usually falls into this scenario where the actual abusive parent is given a majority of the custody. And because that parent gets the majority of the custody, money starts flowing from one parent to the other. No guarantee that the money will go to the child, it's just a guarantee that this parent needs to pay that parent. Now, by itself, this is kind of a horrible situation, but it's really only the tip of the iceberg because what's going to happen is this parent sees this as a positive thing, positive reinforcement that he or she is right. And so they'll repeat the cycle over and over again, dragging this person back into court to try to get more custody, more money, and more positive reinforcement that he or she is the rightful parent in the situation. So in many cases, this results in even more and more and more custody between court and between blocked communication and blocking custody. And the parent also uses outside supporters who look at the custody that the court's giving as an indicator that this parent is indeed right, making it more difficult for this parent to get any support at all because obviously this parent must be doing something wrong. Now, in the long run, the parent that's being knocked down by the system is going to end up childless and broke and humiliated. And the child is going to be parentless, lost, and susceptible to a bunch of different social problems like suicide and drug abuse and teen pregnancy. And worst yet, will continue the abuse cycle themselves. Now, this is not just exceptions. This is very prevalent. My numbers show that 200,000 divorces per year have somebody with a sociopathic personality. And the best way for us to deal with these situations is to have simple 50-50 custody laws that will protect our kids from completely being removed from a loving, nurturing parent.